What is up, Instagram? Figured it was about time I addressed the elephant in the room. That is my torn bicep. My beautifully, mildly, slightly, not very, kind of torn bicep. I was gonna make a video about this right after the Olympia, but I got the flu, I got sick, I was traveling, recovered, got bronchitis, was traveling, and it just wasn't on the top of my priority list. So here we are. I tore my bicep. I don't know how it happened. Everyone's always like, did you feel it? Did it pop? What'd you do? I don't know how it happened. Sometimes that's happened to me before with my other bicep, I think, when I was younger. But to go back to the beginning, on Wednesday, I first noticed a little bit of pain. That was the day of my weigh-ins, 3 days out the Olympia. I was kind of pulling water, pulling weight, trying to make weight that night at 8 p.m. and super depleted and lean, obviously. Your body's more susceptible to injury, and felt some pain. Next day, felt a little bit more pain. It hurt when I was posing, and then I tried not to push it. Friday, it hurt a good amount, and I was trying not to pose too much. And normally I like to pose, especially when I'm carb loading and kind of like move the carbs through my body, but it just hurt, so I was kind of holding back. And then that night, it was a little bit swollen. I was like, fuck, like, just try not to think about this right now. Went to bed, woke up the next day, and it was a little bit more swollen. Obviously not that bad. It was as swollen as you guys see in the pictures from the prejudging, but it got in my head and it stressed me out. And I want to kind of more talk about the mental side that I kind of battled through, because I like talking about the mental side of things rather than just, hey, I tore my bicep. So that was prejudging, get tan, try not to think about it, and then looking at myself, and I could just see it and I could just feel it, and it was just kind of like in my head. So we went on stage for prejudging, and I still felt really good, and I still felt like confident. My physique was great, but I kept just thinking that, like, here's this great physique I've built, probably the greatest package I've ever bought to stage, but my arm. Everyone's gonna be seeing this physique and being like, but why does his arm not look great? And I just couldn't get that out of my head, and it was something that was kind of pulling me out of the moment and into my body, I guess, and just like not being present. And something that I push and I preach about and that I've worked very hard and I've learned with a skill. I know it's a skill because I've built it and because it's definitely perishable. And I'm someone who was super shy and quiet and hated crowds and got anxious being in front of people, let alone speaking or posing when I was younger. But I built the skill to be able to be present and really enjoy the moment on stage at the Olympia. And that's why I love the Olympia so much, because I just can kind of like turn off the world and just like be on the stage under the lights, the competitors and the fans watching, and just like, there's this feeling of like absolute presence that you can't even explain, that I just am very grateful to experience every year. And this kind of took away from that. I was like, fuck. So I was kind of being my hard on myself. And I also put a lot of expectations on myself this year and a lot of pressure on myself, having such a good prep and having not brought my favorite package last year to the Olympia, and really wanting to just like come in and crush this, and knowing damn well that everyone else looks crazy. So I got to be bringing my best this year to win. So all this pressure, like,